Hey guys! So, I know, 2 reviews in like a week, but I just wanted to do another review, so I decided to review Once Upon a Time. If you guys don't know the show Once Upon a Time, it's just a really great show and I'm obsessed with it. So, I decided to take some notes on my phone, and let me just text my friend real quick. Okay, so I forgot what the episode was called. I'll probably look it up. But it was basically just the kind of showdown episode. So if you guys haven't watched the episode yet, I would suggest you leave the video because I will end up spoiling and just leaving my thoughts on it. So we're just going to go ahead and get started. So the episode opens up with basically Neil's burial, which is so sad. It's like the most depressing thing in the world, and I was like, I don't know, I'm not a fan of Neil and Emma together, but I felt bad for Neil, so I was like, I really do feel bad for him and everything. But yeah, so they were just burying him, and it was just a really sad moment. I mean, Emma was just quiet, and then I think they had Henry, I believe it was Henry who like put some dirt onto the casket. So that was really, really sad. And then basically this episode was mainly focused on Zelina and her backstory. So just about what happened with Zelina and how she came to be. So she was abandoned basically, and this family took her in and everything. And she was given up. She had magical powers, and I guess her human or somewhat human people in Oz were adopting her basically and taking care of her and everything. So moving on from that, we have Robin Hood and Regina, who I just adore. I just love their relationship. I just think it's the cutest thing in the world. I am shipping Robin Hood and Regina. I just think it's the cutest little love connection. I just feel like he brings out the best in her, so I love that. The next thing that I wrote down was Hook, which, oh my gosh, guys, Hook is like my lover. Okay, not my lover, but he is definitely one of my favorite characters on the show, and he was just offering to help Emma with Henry because to help him kind of understand more about his father and stuff, because Hook did kind of hang out with Neil in the past, which, well, Balefire. I'm going to say Balefire. But it was just really cute and just sincere because Hook really does want things to go well. He cares about Emma and cares about Henry. So he offered to kind of help Henry with kind of knowing a little bit about his dad and everything. And I thought it was so funny when they went on the boat and he was basically saying, oh, well, I taught your dad how to I guess follow the stars or something, kind of like a GPS. And Henry was like, wait, but aren't you you're the same age as my dad? And I just thought it was really funny because it was like, oh yeah, it's hard for him and everything. So basically what happens is we go back, flashback to Zelina, and Zelina is grown up now, and I guess her adopted mom passed away, and she now has her dad, who isn't necessarily the most loving person in the world, and just kind of freaks out and thinks she's like, well, I don't like you because you're this creep magical being and everything. And so Zelina knows that she was given up, so she doesn't really understand too much of why she was given up. So she goes to see the Wizard of Oz, which I love the way they play this out because it wasn't like the normal, well, Dorothy was the one that went to see the Wizard of Oz. So really, they had the same concept, but they had Zelina, who was the Wicked Witch, or not really a witch, but she was considered wicked, to go see this great and all-powerful wizard who just showed her, well, this is what happened, you actually have a sister, and kind of showed her Rumple, who was teaching Regina magic and everything. And she's like, well, he should be teaching me. So she wanted to go see Rumple, and she made a deal with the wizard saying, oh, I want to get there. So he gives her silver shoes instead of ruby shoes, which I thought was really interesting because all the stories we've known, it's been ruby slippers or ruby shoes. and it's never been silver. So I thought that was interesting, and I wrote that down. And basically, she goes to see Rumple and says, well, yeah, I'm Cora's daughter, first daughter, and kind of wants Rumple's help with her magic and controlling it and everything. And anyway, everything is just everywhere right now. But okay, so then you have the whole flash forward to Storybrooke, and you have Zelena, who is going to fight Regina in like a Western style battle, which is really interesting because it brings kind of a modern Western era, and it's the Wicked West, which I thought was really cool. And basically, she doesn't believe that Zelena is Regina's sister, so she actually finds a letter that I think it was Rumple that wrote it or something like that, and she always thought it was her that he was talking about in the letter, but as she looked at it, it was more that, oh, well, she was better or whatever. So I thought that was interesting. And yeah, so they have their showdown and everything like that. And before the showdown, we have the crew. So like Emma, her parents, and Belle, they try to go find Rumple to get him out of his cage because they basically know that he's back in his cell. So they try to go back to the underground cell to try to get him out, and it was just so adorable because Belle and Rumple were like reunited, but they couldn't be together because, Zelena had the magic of the dagger and was like, well, I can kill you and all that stuff, and it was just such a heartbreaking moment, and I was just dying, and I was like, no, I just couldn't. I wanted to cry. So that was really, really sad, and they had just a short moment, but then Zelena came out and was just a trap, and it was just really, really sad. So they had their little moment, and now flashing back to what happened in the past, we have good old Zelena. She's training and stuff with Rumple, and she's just really getting into it, and Rumple tells her about getting angry, but at the same time thinking of a happy moment, and he brought about the curse that he wanted to cast, which was to find Bellfire. So Zelena wanted to cast it. She's like, oh, but I'm the better one and all that stuff, but then Rumple said that, well, in order to cast the curse, you have to give up the thing you love most, and the thing you love most is me. And so that couldn't happen, and he still knew that Regina was the one that was supposed to cast the curse and not Zelena, so she was really jealous and envious of everything that her sister has had, from having her mom's attention, Cora's attention, to being able to cast the curse and all this stuff, and having Rumple's attention. It was all jealousy and envy, and I think the line was, Rumple said something about, your envy is showing, or you're turning, basically she's turning green. So she started turning green on her neck because she's envious and jealous of her sister, which I thought was so cool, because it really makes you think of how in the world, like, the Wicked Witch turned green. Like, you can't just turn green out of nowhere. So it just shows that she got really envious and jealous, and she wanted to, like, kill her sister because she thought she was going to be better, but then Rumple tricked her and everything, and it was just really, really interesting, and I loved that whole flashback and understanding Zelena's story, because I do feel bad for Zelena because she went through such crap from Cora, and it really goes back to Cora just being a total bitch and abandoning her first child. So I thought it was interesting. The next thing that happened was the actual, like, battle, and Zelena was waiting for Regina. Don't you love how the names rhyme? But anyway, Zelena was waiting for Regina to come to fight her and stuff. So Regina comes, and she's like, I'm here and stuff, and it's like, black is my color. That was one of my favorite lines, when she said black is my color, because Zelena's wearing black, and I just was so sassy, and I just freaking love Regina. She's one of my favorite characters, and she's battling with her, and Zelena is very powerful because everything that Rumple taught Zelena knew. So Zelena was a very powerful witch, and she was the one that was born with magic, I guess, and Regina was the one that kind of more so learned magic. She wasn't really born with it. So I thought that was really cool. And just considering that Zelena was the first one to like begin her magic since she was a baby, so it was understandable she could be very powerful and wicked. So I just love that. And she was trying, I guess she pushed Regina into the tower, and she was trying to take her heart but couldn't get it out. And basically the thing that Regina learned from her own mother was to never bring your heart with you. So she obviously didn't bring her heart. So some reasons Lena wants Regina's heart, and it is to cast some kind of curse. And you could tell in the flashback as Lena went back to Wizard of Oz, back to Oz, basically saying that, well, I want to change what happened. If I go back to what happened with Cora and stuff, I could change the past, but the Wizard of Oz couldn't grant that to her. So she basically has this plan now to go ahead and create some kind of curse, but not really a curse. It's like a time reversal thing. So she wants to make a second chance of something. So that's why one of the things she got was in the past episodes was